What is up, YouTube? Pickle Rick, welcome to this video review, Season 3, Episode 3. So the show is on one hell of a run so far. We have had pretty much, they're batting it out of the park with fantastic episodes. We've had the Szechuan Sauce episode. We've had last week's Mad Max-esque version of Rick and Morty, which was so good. And then now we have had Pickle Rick, which has not only, they're not content with creating a phenomenon like the Szechuan Sauce speech at the end, which when I went to Slam Dunk, which is a music festival here in the UK, the band Ocean's 8 Alaska had that intro as their intro for the start of their kind of, I would say, set. And it was so funny hearing that. I was like, what the hell? But it was really cool. It's a sign that this show is just insanely popular and crosses absolutely all barriers. Now, Pickle Rick, which one line in the Season 3 trailer, and that was it. We were off. We absolutely loved this Pickle Rick. And just goes to show this episode is insane. Now, Dan Harmon does really love his whole sort of action movie-esque things. I mean, we've had the paintball episodes of Community, and now we've had this episode, which featured Susan Sarandon and Danny Trejo, which is pretty cool because Danny Trejo is actually coming to The Flash next season, which I am super hyped about. But here, he plays the infamous Jaguar. So let's just backtrack a bit. So Rick has turned himself into a pickle so he can get out of a family counselling session. That is next level. I like to get out of things, but I would never turn myself into a damn pickle, which is just mental. I love the way he's like rolling around. He's got to roll him, or Morty has to roll Rick around to get him in his eye line, and then that was it. They're off to their whole thing. And I loved the fact that the dude comes out of the counsellor's office or the psychotherapist's office and was like, oh, so you guys eat poop too? And they're like, no, we don't. And that thing behind him where it's courage and it's a dude eating a hot dog, and Morty's like, what has a hot dog got to do with courage? Which we both know that is like something to do with eating poop, which is, you know, really weird. And funny enough, it's actually a real thing. I didn't know that, and I wish I didn't know that. But the whole contrast of Rick having to fight this whole Die Hard-esque sort of thing. I mean, how gross was that when he eats that kind of flying cockroach thing in the sewers? It was just disgusting. But he just touches his tongue on the brain. Part of it was like, that is disgusting. And then the other part of me was like, I don't really think that is a thing. I don't think you can just touch your tongue. I guess he's using pickle magic there. I don't know. I'm not an expert on pickle-related magic. But the rest of this episode was really good. And the rest of it is just stunningly batshit insane. I think this might be the weirdest episode of Rick and Morty that we have ever had. And that is really saying a lot, especially after the season opener. But this episode, we saw him make a laser out of AA batteries. We saw him take down an entire sort of, I guess, an embassy. Now, we never really knew exactly what this place was, which I thought was a bit of a shame to us. But we never really learned what country this was. I suppose it was supposed to be some kind of like Eastern European place with... And the fact that they refer to him as like the Pickle Man and this kind of ancient fairy tale that is designed to scare kids from not wasting their food. And they think he's coming after them, which is, again, just insane. And the contrast here of him fighting all these people, I guess he's fighting his demons, and then you've got the rest of them trying to work out their whole thing with themselves and why they're upset or why the family seems to absolutely kind of hate emotion and everything like that, which is, I guess, a good thing that Jerry wasn't actually there, that he wasn't invited because they would have absolutely, or at least Summer, would have ripped the shit out of him, although they're supposed to be on some kind of redemption thing there, to be honest, but it's a bit kind of inconsistent there, what's going on. But I loved the artwork and the disgusting sort of mech suit that Pickle Rick has made out of discarded rat parts. It was just horrible. And it was just disgusting to actually watch when he fights those rats. And it was just insane. I guess that's all you can say about this episode. And seeing Danny Trejo's version of Jaguar, where he's fighting, he's kind of like a freedom fighter. Then we see the two fight, and then that was it. We actually ended up working together to take down this organisation. I guess it actually goes to show that Rick, you know what? He's sort of a nice guy. He's a massive arsehole. He is just drinking all the time, if that is alcohol. He is really just a horrible person, but he still has some sort of morals behind him, which we saw here when he was freeing Jaguar and kind of exposing this leader when they say that Jaguar's daughter is actually dead. And again, post-credits, he actually saves him when he's fighting this, I can't remember the exact name of what this villain was called at the end. It was one we saw in the trailer and the intro, where he's on the piano. But I was kind of thought that would be a whole episode. That sounds like something I want to see. I want to see how they got into that pickle. No pun intended there, of course. But I want to see how they got into that problem there, which was a real shame that we never actually learned why they are where they are on that piano. Now, a very good episode, I think, so far. I'm not too sure about the juxtaposition of the two stories. I'm not sure they kind of merged together. I understood what they were trying to do, but I don't think it really kind of worked at all, to be honest. But I did enjoy the episode. I did enjoy the two stories. They just felt a bit fragmented, and it seemed a bit weird that they were put together. But Pickle Rick, he's a pickle, so I guess you can't really look too much into it. But a fantastic episode, I thought, personally. I hope we see more Jerry as time goes on. However, that is it for this video. Please do drop a like. Please subscribe. And I'll see you soon. Goodbye.